Hey everyone, Kevin here with Divinely Designed, and we have a soap making video today. I'm going to speed this one up. I know some people like longer videos. I have some people that like shorter videos, so I'm going to speed this one up and do a voiceover. This video is going to be featuring some Bramble Berry products. Bramble Berry was nice enough to send me their Autumn Frost Fragrance Collection. So I'm going to be using one of those called Cedar and Amber for this soap. It's a really nice fragrance, very foresty and cedar and notes of pine kind of fragrances, but also kind of this warm, soft, earthy kind of note to it as well. Their Autumn Frost Fragrance Collection also includes Vermont Maple, which is kind of a sweet, syrupy kind of fragrance. Sparkling Snowdrop, which is very fresh, wintry, and bright. And Cocoa Butter Cashmere, which was really interesting. I didn't love it at first, but as I smelled it kind of a couple more times, it kind of grew on me. I ended up really liking it. It has a very soft, feminine, slightly sweet, slightly floral, just really nice fragrance. So it's a very nice fragrance collection, I think. I'm also going to be using some colorants from Bramble Berry, which I haven't really used a lot of colorants from them. So I'll be using Brick Red, Oxide, Coral Mica, Copper Sparkle Mica, Radiant Plum Colorant, and Apple Moss Green Mica. I'll put the rest of the recipe down below, including all the amounts of oils and fragrances and things like that. This fragrance oil does discolor, so I did use some vanilla stabilizer in here, although it's supposed to only go to kind of a tan, so even if it doesn't, that stabilizer doesn't work all that well, then it won't be that bad. Just dividing out small amounts of my batter here for the different colors that I'll be using. This Copper Sparkle, which I just put in there, is really beautiful. The sparkle in it is amazing. Now, the sparkle doesn't usually come through in the final soap, but if you were using that in other products, I bet that would be super pretty. I don't know if it's skin safe, though. Just showing off what those colors ended up being. That Radiant Plum is super bright, and I love that color. It was really pretty. Using some titanium dioxide for the majority of my batter, and then pouring it, most of it, into the pot here, and then adding my colors just roughly into their own little areas. And once I finally get all of the colors into the pot here, I'll stir them up, not stir a lot, just give it 3 or 4 good swirls with a spatula, just to mix the colors up here. But you don't want to mix too much, or you'll end up getting lots of muddiness in your final soap here. So some quick swirls, just a little bit, and then into my mold. This is the tall and skinny mold from American Soap Supplies, which is the mold I use the most and like a lot. And then on top of this, I'm going to add some white. I wanted to keep the top very white. I'm going to do some drizzles of the colorants in oil. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. I ended up using just the purple, the Radiant Plum, and the green, and just a little bit of it. I didn't want a lot because the other element I'm going to add onto my textured top is some cranberry seeds, which are also from Bramble Berry. And I really wanted them to kind of be the star, or to sort of, be part of the design element here. I didn't want just a little bit of them. I wanted them to be part of that design that was on the top. So just drizzling just the plum and the green, and then kind of pushing it to the middle, kind of doing a textured top, not messing it with a lot, because if I mix those green and purple too much, they would, very quickly become a muddy brown. So I didn't mess with it a whole lot, and then just sprinkled the cranberry seeds on top. I used a fair bit of the cranberry seeds. They're really, really small, and I felt like I needed a bunch of them to make sort of an impact. I'll kind of quickly show you the end result here. That purple and green were really pretty on top. And then I put it in the fridge, let it sit for a few hours. Around 16 or 17 hours after I poured, I unmolded it and I went to cut it. And the top had, lost that glossiness from wet soap, and had become sort of a matte. Was still very pretty. The white had already started to kind of take on an ivory quality, but it wasn't bad at all, and I really liked actually the ivory sort of color. It worked well with this color combination. There I'm just pointing out the different colors that came through. They generally all worked really well, and I was able to tell them apart. And in the pot swirl, the colors are, there's a lot of them next to each other, so unless you look really closely. But all of the different colors did come through. The coral does become much more orange in the final soap versus the initial coral color that you have with it. So, and that's it. It came out great. The fragrance is even, I think, a little more mellow in the final result here. It's a soft fragrance to begin with, and it ended up even a little bit more mellow, I think. So, okay, I have a couple of still pictures here, but that's really it. Like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. Comments, questions, leave them below. I'll be happy to try and answer them if I can. And hey, be on the lookout for an upcoming live soaping session where I'm going to be giving away some Bramble Berry products, I think. And I look to do that hopefully in the next couple weeks or so. So, okay, that's it. Thanks so much for watching and stopping by, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.